Hi everyone, today's video I'm going to be making this lovely vest here. It's cabled and looks all Irish. So basically I drew a picture and decided on the measurements I was going to need. The first measurement you need is this one right here, from how long you want the vest. So probably two, just how long you want it to be. And then at the bottom length, you need to measure how much around it needs to go based on your body or whoever you're deciding to make it for. For mine, I got 42 inches because I like to have a little bit of baggy things. So I started with a single crochet foundation chain, and I do have a video on that in my YouTube channel if you want to catch that. But basically, I already did my 42 inches here. So I swing it around. And there's my 42. And I did do that the whole stretched way. But basically, now I get to go on to the next row. So the next row is going to be pretty simple actually. All I'm going to do after I almost forgot to mention. Basically, I need 26 plus an even number. So since it's probably going to be more than 26 stitches, you're going to need an odd number. And the odd number is due to the pattern that I have set here. So once you have your odd number here, whatever it is, go ahead and chain one, yarn it over, insert your hook into the top two, next stitch right there, and just do a half double crochet. And you're going to do that all the way down. A half double crochet for row 2. So row 1 is a row of single crochet foundation chain. Row 2 is a half double crochet. And keep in mind, everybody has probably going to have a different measurement. So just make sure you keep yours to whatever measurement you need. Go ahead and do your half double crochet all the way down to the very end. And I'll meet you right there to show you how to do row 3. Four, and that should lead you right to the pin right here. So 1, 2, 3, and there's my pin. So yarn it over, make a double crochet in that one. Just like that. Alright, so now go ahead and yarn it over. I'm going to bring it up close here so it's easy to see. So you're going to skip the first 3 stitches. So I'm skipping 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go under this stitch like a tunnel. Bring up a loop, yarn it over, pull through just 1, yarn it over, pull through 2, yarn it over, and pull through 2. That makes it a long front post double crochet. Do that in the next one. Go through your tunnel, go through 1, go through 2, and go through 2. And go through your next tunnel. Go through your 1, go through your 2, and go through your 2. And now we're going to go back to those first 3 that we skipped. And you're going to go through this tunnel. It's going to look kind of bendy at first, but it will flatten out eventually. So go through your 1, go through your 2, and go through your 2. And then again, the second one you skipped. And always make sure you're not pulling your yarn too tight. And then yarn it over for a regular double crochet in your pin marker here. And then we can get rid of our little pin here. And now we're going to copy that same pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to skip the next 3, so 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, and the 4th one. And then you basically do that till you reach the middle. So all the way until you reach right here. And I'll meet you back there. Alright, so now we are at our pin here. So go ahead and yarn over and just make a double crochet. And if you're wondering here, I did a chain 4 and a slip stitch in that one, and then I needed to have a double crochet in this first pin. So now I can take that stitch marker out, yarn it over, and in the next 3 stitches, this one, and this one, you're just going to do a regular front post double crochet. Don't mind my son here trying to make background music. Sorry about that. So there's the second one, and then here's the third one. Yarn it over, and then you're going to skip these 3, and you're going to go to these next 3. So now we're going to go under the tunnel here and make a long front post double crochet. Make another one. And the third one.
Mama, I need help.
Alright, and now you have to do is if you move this back, you can see right here you have 1, 2, and 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3 right there. So you're going to yarn it over. Move this over here, go into the very first stitch you have available here, and you're just going to make a long double crochet instead of a front post. And this is working behind those 3 that you just did, so it's going to look kind of looped and weird, but if you push it to the front, it's not going to be in the way. So go to make your second long double crochet, and then the third one right here. And then the next 3 are just going to be a regular front post double crochet. So there's your first one. Second one. And third one. And now we're at our last pin here. Insert your hooks into that, or hook, sorry, and just make a regular double crochet. You can take out your pin, and now you make a chain of 4, and then you keep going with that same pattern. Skip your 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the 4th one, and then keep going with that pattern till you reach your next stitch marker here. Alright, so I did my chain 4, and now my next 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4 right here in this pin. So I'm going to yarn it over, insert my hook, and just make a regular double crochet. And then I can take out my pin here. And now I'm going to skip these 3 here, so 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to work in the next 3 here. So I'm going to make a long front post double crochet in the next 3. So go through 1, then you go through 2, and then you go through 2. Do that again in the second one. Go through 1, 2, and then 2. And then we're going to go ahead and go back to the skipped 3. So now go over and make some long front post double crochets again. Go through your second one that you skipped.
Yes. Come on, P.
And then the third one here. And then lastly, you just need a double crochet where your stitch marker is. And then you can take out your last stitch marker. Go ahead and chain your 4, chain your 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, make your slip stitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and this should take you to the very end here, so you should do one more. Then 1, 2, 3, and that should be your second to last one right here. So go ahead and make a double crochet in the second to last, yarn it over, and in that chain that you made, make another double crochet. And that is the end of row 3. Alright, so row 4, chain 3, turn your work, and double crochet in your double crochet that you had on the previous row. And this is how I'm going to keep this even here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm not going to go into this one, but I'm going to go straight to this one. So right in that one, 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and then you're going to go into the second one here, chain 4, and then go ahead and make a double crochet on your double crochet spot. And then now we're going to make some back post double crochets. So yarn it over, and then we're going to be working in these first 2 first, then these 2, or sorry, 3. The first 3, then the last 3. So put your needle through underneath instead of the front, going from behind. Yarn it over, and then you just make a double crochet. This one right here, go underneath, bring your yarn up and through, and double crochet. Now try not to get these two mixed up here. This was from the front one, so I need to grab that one first. And then I need to grab this one. And those were the second set of 3 that I did. And now we got all of our back posts. So yarn it over, make a double crochet on top of your double crochet space. Chain your 4. Remember, skip the first one. Go into the next one, just right on that. And then keep going just like that. that pattern till you get to right here, and then I'll meet you here. Okay, so now I've made it to right here. Got my chain of 4. Oh, sorry, that was 3. There's my 4. And I have one more space right here, so I am going to make a slip stitch in here, and I'm going to make another 4. And then I'm going to do a double crochet here. And then for these next 12, I'm basically doing a back post double crochet. So the first 3, just insert your hook, bring it through. And just make some simple back post double crochets. And if you need a more in-depth way to do a back post, I do have another video on back post double crochets. So while you're doing this stretch, you have to grab the ones that you did first. So the ones that are first in the way. And always make sure about that overlapping one right there in the middle, because now you have your next 3 here. Because if you get those overlapped ones mixed up, it'll make the front part of your project look, it'll mess it up.
I don't have classmates' picture.
And then the last 3. And then you have just your double crochet right here. And now we're back on to chaining 4 and skipping 3. Well, now we don't skip 3, but we are going to skip this first one, and we're going to go into the next one. And the reason for doing that is to make it all even, so that way you can keep track of how many stitches you go into. And basically do this all the way down here, and I'll meet you right here. Alright, so now we're right here. Go to make your slip stitch, and then another chain of 4. And then double crochet in your double crochet space. And again, we're going to back post double crochet along these 6. And then just make sure you know which ones were out first. And then, as always, keep in mind of that middle one, so that way you don't cross it over. And then you should have these 2 left. And then we go back to our double crochet right there in your double crochet space. Sorry about that. And then you go back to your chain 4. And remember, skip the first one here and go into the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into the next one here. And 2, 3, 4. Then go ahead and make your double crochet. And double crochet in the third chain from the chain 3 that you made. And that finishes row 4. Alright, so now starting row 5. Go ahead and chain your 3 and then turn. Double crochet in your double crochet space. Chain your 4. Skip this first one and then go into the next one. And then you should have this one right here. So go into this one. And then chain your 4. Make a double crochet in your double crochet space. And now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first 3, go into these next 3 and make a long front post double crochet in these 3. Yarn it over, and now, just like we did in the middle of our weave, we're going to pull these forward. Sorry, trying to get the zoom right here. And then find the top of the 3, so 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to go into the top and make a long double crochet in those 3 instead of front post. And the reason for this, it'll just make it wind slightly different. It'll pull these this way and these underneath, making it more of a crisscross for you. Double crochet into your next double crochet space. Chain your 4. Remember, skip these ones. And then go into your next one. Do that to your middle. Alright, so now we are here. And you still have this space right here. Sorry about that zoom, it's not quite catching. Chain your 4. Double crochet into your next double crochet space. And then we have these 3 here. There we go. So we're gonna go use these 6 right here. The first set of 3 and the second set of 3. So yarn it over, make a long front post double crochet in the second set of 3. And then you're going to go in the front this time and long front post double crochet on these ones. And then basically you're going to do that with the next set too. These 3 and these 3. So skip your first 3. Make your long front post double crochets in the second set. And then again, cross over in the front this time. And long front post double crochet in the second set of 3. Double crochet in your double crochet space. Chain your 4. Remember, skip that first one. Go into the next one, all the way till you get to here. Alright, so now we are here. I made my chain 4. I need to make my slip stitch. My chain 4 again, double crochet into your double crochet space, and then for this set of 6 we're going to do the same thing that we started with in the row. You're going to make the long front post double crochets in the second set of 3. And then for the second set of 3, long double crochets. So fold those down, and you can see 1, 2, and 3 right there. So I'm going to go into the first one here, make my long double crochet. Second one goes here. And then the third one right there. Double crochet in your double crochet space. Chain your 4. Remember, you gotta skip the first one. Then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you're ready for your double crochet in your double crochet space. Then again in the third chain of your chain 3. And that completes row 5. Alright, so for row 6, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. Basically, you're going to be repeating row 4. You're going to double crochet here, skip this one, chain 4, skip that one, and then you're going to do your back post double crochets, grabbing from, remember, separate it out, back post in those 3 first, and then in those 3, and then a double crochet in your double crochet spaces. Chain your 4, skip this one, go into here, and then basically you're just repeating row 4. So if you need to go back to row 4, go ahead and skip backwards. But I'm going to go ahead and do row 4 all the way to the end, and I'll meet you on this side. Alright, so I have now reached the end of row 6. So basically, after you chain your 3 and turn your work, now you're going to repeat the same few rows. You're going to repeat row 3, row 4, row 5, and row 6 again. After you do that, I'll meet you right there, and I'll be... Alright, so now that you have done your repeat of row 3, 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to zoom up to this, so if you're a note taker and you like to write notes, you can copy that down if you like. Hold that up there for a second. Basically, for the next 2 rows, I'm going to repeat for row 11 and 12, I'm going to repeat row 3 and 4, but with a change. So basically, my change is instead of doing the bumps, I'm going to be doing 4 double crochets in each bump. So if you look at this here, depending how many stitches you did, you're going to have to find the right number just to make sure your math is right. So I had 133 total stitches, and I had 34 stitches of the weaves. So that left me with the leftover part. So then I wrote down here the stitches I need for my weave, and those are the stitches I'm putting on my bumps, the amount that I need in between, and that equaled out to 133. Well, actually 134, but I'm going to go one less double crochet to make that an even number for me, or a matching number to say more of. So basically I do my chain 3, double crochet in my next double crochet, and according to my chart here I need 12 double crochets. So now basically I'm going to do 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here. And that's basically the change, because you're still doing the weaves exactly the same. The only difference is inside of your bumps here. So I have 3 here and 4, and then I'm just going to go right into the next one here. And that is basically the change. So I'll go ahead and do that all the way across. Just remember, the weaves still stay normal. You do the double crochet on the double crochet space, and then you do your weave like you would for row 3. Do your double crochet, 4 in each bump all the way across, depending on your numbers. Hopefully you have the right set of numbers like I do. And then pretty much do that all the way down till you reach your very end. So I'll meet you right there. Alright, so that finished my row 11. So row 12, basically going to be the same thing. You chain 3, you turn your work, and now you just do a double crochet in each double crochet. Do your weave like you would for the back post double crochets like you would do for row 4, and then double crochets all the way across. Then when you get to your next weave, your back post double crochets, do that all the way till you get to your end. I'll meet you right there. Alright, so now after you did your row 12, row 13 and 14, you repeat row 5 and 6 basically. So now you don't have to do the double crochets all the way across anymore. Now we are back to our chain 4, and then skip 3. So now we have to go 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the 4th one. Just like we did in the very beginning. Now you do that. Yarn it over because we have our next double crochet right here, and just do your double crochet and then do your weave right here, and then keep on going that exact same way all the way down, just repeating row 5, the same weave part you did on row 5. Only difference now is you're going back to the chain 4, skip 3, slip stitch into the 4th one. So then from there, you basically repeat from 15, 16, 17, and 18. You're repeating rows 3, 4, 5, and 6. Basically, you repeat that twice, and then you go again those 2 rows with the change. And then lengthwise, get your tape measure. Measure from just under your arm to the length that you really want. And then I would measure from this middle piece here. So make your measurement starting here to the length amount that you want. So follow that, and then I'll meet you when I reach my length. Alright, so I have made it to my length, and I went ahead and did these 2 rows already. So this, I did my row 3 with the double crochets instead of the skipping. And then when I came back this way, I decided to measure it against myself by putting it under my armpits, and then I would measure it from the front to the back. So then I had decided to go for row 5. So row 5, or sorry, that was 3. This one's 4. So row 4 is basically, I do my normal double crochet or chain 3 double crochet all the way to your knot, and then I did my back post double crochets here, and then on the next stitch, that's where I had my first stitch marker. So I chained 3, and then I did a double crochet foundation chain. So this was a double crochet foundation chain until I reached my other stitch marker, and I counted how many stitches I needed to skip, and that's how many double crochet foundation chains that I did. And then I did regular double crochets here. I did my back post stitches here, regular double crochets, and then again here was my first stitch marker on this side, so I chained 3, and then I did my double crochet foundation chain until I reached this other stitch marker that I had here. My stitch markers, they started right after this knot right here, because this part was in front of me, and then that ended up being 27 and 27 for me. And then I did my double crochets here after my back post, and then now I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to go ahead and do row 5 as I would. So I'm going to do my chain 3, my double crochet, chain 4, skip 3, slip stitch into the 4th. I'm going to do the knot how it's supposed to be on row 5, and then I'm going to go to skipping on this one. And then as for the structural part of this, when I'm done with the length on the top, then I'm basically just going to make a row of single or half double crochets on the inside around each stitch, so that way it's a little bit more sturdier. But as for the lengthwise, I'm going to go ahead and do, after this row 3 and 4 that I did right here, I'm going to do my 5, 6, then I'm going to repeat 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then from there, I'm going to make my border, and then I'll probably